Hi everyone, welcome back to Math Hands-On with Python class, and today we are going to see how we can visualize the data using the pie chart and the strip plot with just few lines of codes. So these are the data which I'm going to use to show how or to illustrate how we can represent or visualize data using the pie chart and the strip plot. So these are the national data for different regions across the world. So we have the variables, as you can see, for countries, region, GDP, school, fertility, child mortality, life expectancy, populations, urban population, and so forth. So we are going to use this data to illustrate how you can visualize the data in Python just for few lines of codes. So here are my codes. Okay, I have the codes already. So what we are going to do, I'm going to explain to you what does this codes means, and we are going to run and see how you can visualize some data from our data frame. So I imported the three libraries which I'm going to use: the Panda library, the Matplot library, and the Seaborn library. So I have loaded my data, which are in a CSV format, and the first part of this discussion is the pie chart. So we have to configure the shape of or the size of the figure which we are going to create from the pie function. I have set 15 by 8, and now we have to call the PLT function for a pie plot. Okay, and inside this pie plot function, we have to assign the values or the variable which we would like to visualize the data in pie chart. I took the GDP variable. So the GDP variable is the third column, but in indexing, the third column is the index 2. Okay, so I'm just taking 6 countries, okay, in GDP column. You can see here, this is the GDP column. So I'm just taking the GDP for 6 countries. Okay, so I'm assigning some values for the GDP. So I'm taking these values by using the integer allocation of the data frame. So data frame dot integer allocation from 0 to 6th row of column 2, which is the column for the GDP. And it labels, these are the labels for the GDP. So remember, the GDP are the GDP for countries. Okay, so I also call the respective countries with respective GDP 6 rows. Okay, but the country is the first column, so the index for the first column is 0. So I call the data which I would like to visualize and the respective label. Also, we proceed by this start angle. These are other argument in pie function. This start angle basically starts, the slicing starts at a vertical 90-degree angle. Okay, so we have autopix. This autopix is for adding the weights of the slice or the GDP in percentage, and the text props is for configuring the text of our figure. And after this setting of the pie function, then we have other information like setting the legend, okay, also the title, the axis to be equal, okay, and the show function. So this plt.show function I used because I have another plot which is quite different from this one. So I have to stop this function to operate by commanding the plt.show, this one to display at this point, and then we proceed with the second part, which is the strip plot for regions GDP. So the strip plot basically uses the Seaborn function. I imported Seaborn as SNS. So I'm going to plot the strip plot of the region, okay, in x-axis against the GDP in y-axis. So, and the data should be from the data frame DF, and the color is, I assigned the color of the plots to be cyanide, and also .set title, the title of this figure to be regional GDP. So this is what I prepared for you in plotting the pie chart and the strip plot. So let's run these codes and see what it will give the output. So click run, and here we have the output. So the first part is, it was for the pie chart, and we have the pie chart here representing the GDP for selected African countries. We selected just 6 countries, okay, with their respective percentage you can see inside here, and this is the legend, okay. And the second plot is, it was the strip plot. This is a wonderful strip plot. This strip plot, it enables you to make very nice decisions according to the GDP of different regions of the world. For instance, you can see here most of the countries in African region, Asian region, and Oceania region, okay, their GDP are less than 10,000. So this can give you a nice, clear or visualization or summary of your data before doing any other manipulation. So most of these dots represents countries in these regions. So this concentration below here shows most of countries, its GDP concentrate below 10,000. So this is how you can visualize your data in pie chart and strip plot. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video.